Hello all my Kenvians and welcome to a new episode of Discovering Steven Universe. After the very emotional previous episode, had to take a little bit of a break, but finally getting back into it. And it's time to start Future Boy Zoltron. Can't say I have any freaking clue what this is going to be about, unless there's a character called Future Boy Zoltron, but I doubt it's going to be an actual character. But let's get right into it, find out what this episode is going to be about, and let's begin the episode in 3, 2, 1, go.
Quarterback? If I had a quarter for every time somebody asked for their quarterback, oh wait, I do! Put up bump chain!
What?
Joe? Man, I must be rusty.
It was a bad joke.
My comedy days.
You used to be a
And I love telling bad jokes.
fills his heart with warm feelings like love and trust. No, it doesn't. Loves to take charge. No, I don't. She'll still be really impressed with all of your effort.
Isn't it weird that it knows our names?
Want to go to work?
Yeah, let's.
Sure.
A fortune-telling machine. This should be good for a laugh.
That's right. Funland is fun for all ages.
Who?
Tell me the truth. Do I really just drive everyone around me away?
Zoltron says your lucky numbers for today.
My final quarter. Ugh. Even coins don't want to be around me.
Who are you?
Poor guy.
That was the bit. At least I thought it was, but
Hmm.
and on stage he was always sad.
He's depressed?
Cheer him up. I need the robot boy from the future told me.
Hi again.
He came to life. No, fool.
Well, I guess my debt is repaid.
Steven, that machine costs thousands of dollars.
Zoltron sees cramped legs in the future.
Okay. Pretty music. Ooh. This was at the end of the previous one too, but I was too emotional to really pay attention to that. So, Mr. Smiley and Mr. Frowny. Okay, I thought that they were sort of playing it off as like the person who voices Mr. Smiley being a comedian in the past, and who knows, maybe he is, but they were just sort of playing off on that joke. But then the Mr. Frowny appeared, and it just completely turned it on its head for me. And I'm admittedly a bit, it was an entertaining episode, and I like learning more about Mr. Smiley, but it seems strange because the events that transpired, like usually whenever we have these episodes where, like, you know, the citizens of Beach City, yes, Beach City, I almost forgot the name, but the citizens of Beach City, wherever it focuses on them, like there ends up being some long-standing change or something that's sort of evident. And I mean, it may just be something that's like it changes in the long term, like maybe we'll see Quentin, aka Mr. Frowny, again in the future, maybe. But as far as Mr. Smiley goes, it's like nothing really changed. It's like we were introduced to this character who we've never seen before, who just kind of comes out of nowhere, has this really, it gives us this emotional feeling, but at the same time, it how am I trying to say this? It's like Quentin's not sticking around, so the changes that he experienced aren't going to be felt, and then Mr. Smiley is still very much Mr. Smiley. Like, you know, he had this one aspect of his life that we didn't know about prior to this episode. We had no inclination of. Like, I think it was, what was it? He used to be a singer or a dancer back in the day, maybe both. But as far as comedy goes, this was literally the first time it was brought up. And I don't know, this episode just maybe feels a bit too compact, in my opinion. I mean, again, it hit on the whole aspect of Steven being able to get a bit of the future vision from Garnet, which has happened before. I mean, I'm trying to think, unless it's just certain aspects of, like, the other side characters that were touched on through the episode, like Lars and Sadie, how Steven, like, communicated with them as Zoltron, the twins, I mean, them both getting their own rooms, I mean, maybe that'll be impacted in the future or commented on, I have no idea. But, yeah, this is one of those times where, and I'm not saying this to, like, get on anyone's nerves or anything like that, but as it stands, I don't see how this episode isn't filler. Again, entertaining filler. I enjoyed the episode. It was very interesting to see what happened, but I can't really see how it fits into, I guess, the story of this show as a whole. A lot of the episodes that I've called filler in the past, admittedly, I have since seen that, you know, they have some rather, maybe not large impacts, but they do foreshadow certain things that we see in the future. But this episode in particular, I just can't see it. And maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe something will come around, whether it's with the machine, whether it's with Mr. Smiley, Quentin, some of the other characters, I don't know. But and again, this is just like, you know, first response, like, review kind of thing. I don't see how it fits in, and I find that a little bit disappointing, because even the episodes that I did find as filler before, there were those inclinations, there were those possible things that I'm trying to think about more. I'm trying to think more about the big picture when it comes to these episodes. But I'm finding it hard. And, you know, if someone in the comments does want to talk about it some, you know, without spoiling anything for episodes that are to come, or at least, like, any major plot facts, like, let me know if there is something about this episode that can help it be not seen as filler in my eyes. Because again, it's like, as far as Steven's powers go, we've seen him get the future vision before. Yes, this is the only time where we've seen it touch on, like, a few different possibilities. But I don't think that really counts. It's still future vision, and Garnet has told us that she can see multiple possibilities. So yeah. But again, the episode as a whole was very entertaining. Onion's appearance, however brief, I mean, is like when Zoltron, told him that he sees prison bars in his future if he if he's not careful. Then Onion comes back with a mask. I mean, it's it brings up questions in my mind, like, yeah, Steven has broken things. Things have happened that have resulted in him being banned from some of Mr. Smiley's places. how is Onion not banned from like everywhere in Beach City? Like, seriously, I get it, like, you know, he's a little kid and he's a scamp, but how? Like, he's a klepto, he's got a freaking crowbar to open up and or break whatever might be in there. It's like, how is he not banned from these places like Steven is? It doesn't make sense to me, and maybe that's kind of the point. It's just like, it's Onion, and Onion is Onion. Onion is an anomaly. I don't know, but that's something that, at least in this episode in particular, I don't get it. How does he get away with this stuff with seemingly everyone but Steven? I don't know. But yeah, not much more to say about this episode beyond that. Again, I'm really looking forward to hearing what you all have to say in the comments down below, because I want to know what, if anything, I missed about this episode. Like, what maybe ties it into not even the story of the show, but just the mythos of this show as a whole. And again, I get it, it ties into Mr. Smiley's story, but it's so compact and so seemingly cut off from other episodes in the show. I don't know, I'm rambling at this point. So again, I'm looking forward to hearing what you all have to say in the comments down below. Both what I had to say about this, the episode itself, and yeah, I'm looking forward to checking out the next episode, which, let's take a quick look and see what's coming up. Last one out of Beach City. So again, I don't know. Is there going to be some big disaster and Steven or someone else is the last one out of Beach City or something like that? I have no freaking clue. But let's get right into it. I'm going to go ahead and record immediately after finishing this episode. So thank you everyone for being here for this episode of Discovering Steven Universe, and I will see you all in the next video.